Second delay, but it'll be there.
Okay. And then go live on Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Perfect. Do I go back to StreamYard?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, 1 second. Oh. This is not the ideal situation. That thing was making so much noise in the back. Okay. All right. Okay. Hey guys. So this is London Gray with the Gray Theory Podcast, and we have Azaria Leann with Beauty. So go ahead and Azaria and introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Azaria and I'm 32. I've been doing brows for about 7 years and makeup for 10 years.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So where are you from? Where are you from?
So I'm from Greenville, South Carolina. I wasn't born here, but I was born in Iowa, but
Okay.
I was raised in Greenville.
Okay, so since you were probably little, right? You don't remember Iowa too much.
No, I was just born there. Just born. That's it.
Born
Yeah.
and shipped off. Born and shipped
Yeah.
off. Literally. So, what was your first introduction to the beauty industry?
First, I would say I've always loved makeup, even when I was a little girl. So
Mhm.
I just have this vivid memory, and I just got to use this because I feel like this is where I knew I loved makeup. I remember I was in K4 and we had a little area. There was like a home area, an art area, and then there was one area was for like the beauty area, and I would always go to that area and play in makeup. And I just remember one day I was feeling creative. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do blue blush. And I put blue blush all over my cheeks, and it was time to come to center. And my teacher was like, "You need to go wash that off. You're a distraction to the class." And I'm like, "You don't like my blue blush?" Like, so I would say that was probably my first introductory to the
Yeah.
beauty industry. But like as an adult, I don't know. I've always loved makeup, so I really can't say what like pinpoint because I always had a love for the beauty industry.
Mhm. That's amazing. Good story, by the way. I feel like sometimes in life, I feel like this, I hear this story a lot when it comes to people's career paths, whether it be a 9 to 5 or entrepreneurship, that we always go back to when we were little, what kind of made us happy and just fulfill that moment of joy at the time. And I think that is very interesting. It's like a full circle moment that you may end up where you were first. That very first introduction is usually when we were kids, right?
Yes.
Um, so what sacrifices do you feel like you had to make to be in the position that you are in today with your business?
Oh, sacrifices. I would say, hmm, I would say sacrifices, definitely putting time because I think I have a natural gift at just eye for detail, but probably just still getting out of my own head and kind of like getting off of I don't want to say I get on a high horse, but like, I always say I have to humble myself sometimes, just, checking in with myself, like,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
for sure.
you're never going to be too good to not still learn. So probably just sacrificing hours and even just time to like, I could be doing something else, but I'm like, I want to be the best artist that I can be or the best brow artist. So probably just more like hours or to sacrifice to be in the position. Definitely probably yeah, probably just time.
Mhm.
Just time. Yeah.
Okay. And you said going back to, your first introduction up until now, and you've been pretty much in the business industry for about 10 plus years. What is it that made you decide to be an entrepreneur on that side of things instead of working through a company or a beauty salon or a spa, in that reference?
So what made me become have my own business was my daughter. I just knew that I wanted more for her, and I actually was working underneath another brow
Mhm.
artist for 5 years,
Okay.
and I definitely learned so much from her and took a lot of like great key points of who I am as a brow artist today. But what made me wanted to be my have my own business is definitely freedom, like have being able to kind of set my schedule, like not having to ask like when I have to take off or when do I go in, just more freedom with time, but also, setting myself and my daughter up like financially.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, flexibility, who doesn't want to make their own schedule, right? And just kind of
Yeah.
like leave behind a certain legacy. So what as a mom, right? How did you navigate and have the balance, right, to kind of make sure that you are still prioritizing her needs and what she needs, but still managing a business? Because I know, as we know, entrepreneurship can be just like a hard task because you're putting on so many different hats and you're just switching in and switching out until you're able to build a full team. So, what did that balance look like for you, and how did you navigate it?
So I'm still balancing it. I have moments of where I kind of get lost in working, working, working. And
Mhm.
then when I find myself getting I feel like overworked. I really love what I do. But I know like being a mom is like my first thing that I cherish. So I just kind of have to like check in with myself, kind of
Mhm.
go over my schedule and like,
Yeah.
okay, where can I have more balance and more free time with for myself, but also for my daughter so that I'm there for her. So I just try to plan ahead as much as possible. And of course, not everything goes the
That's
way I plan it,
yeah.
but I try to definitely block out weekends for me and her. And she dances. So I feel like that is our time on the weekends when she has my full undivided attention. So
Mhm.
whenever I'm with her, it might not be quantity time, but it's the quality time that,
Right.
I feel like we get to definitely have. So I just look at that, like, even though I'm not with her all day, every day, or every weekend, but the time that I do give her, she knows that she has my undivided attention.
Right. And I guess staying present, I think that kind of helps. You know what I'm saying? Because even if I know there's some people that just like they're still accepting appointments or making appointments or on the computer. But that is great that you kind of have that, in the back of your head, like staying present and the quality time, what makes and builds the most important relationships. I feel like, when children are young, a lot of kids, I would say I can agree to this. It's not what you give your kids, is how you make them feel in that moment, and they will remember it for the rest of their lives, right?
Yes.
Um, so what are some problems that you're currently facing in the beauty industry that you face, that you're facing currently, and what are the problems that you're trying to solve?
Um, Problems that I'm facing. Um, it doesn't happen often, but maybe one of the problems is probably people, have clients booking and no shows. And I
Mhm.
know that um, I've talked to other beauty in the beauty industry, other people, and they've had the same issue too. And the only way you can kind of resolve it is instead of me booking the appointment for you, because I don't like to take card information over on my end. If they just use the link, they can do all that on their self. So, if
Mhm.
I do have a card on file, we can just charge it. And I think that's probably the biggest thing dealing with is like no shows. I don't have it often, and I'm very grateful. But when I do have it, it's just kind of like, oh, I could have been doing something. I could
Yeah,
have had another client in that spot, or I could have been doing
absolutely.
something else, because like, time is money, and who wants to be just sitting around not making any money? So that's probably the biggest thing I deal with. Not often, but when it happens, it seems like it happens back to back to back, and it's like maybe 3 in 1 week, but I won't have it again for like another month.
Gotcha. And do you have like a process in which you have like a down payment, or no, that is not your thing?
No, I don't do you don't have to have a down payment, but
Mhm.
a card on file definitely.
Okay.
And if they don't show up, I always try to reach out to them to just make sure, like, they're okay, because life happens, and
Yeah,
I don't want to charge
right.
the card and they're like they had an emergency and they just, I was the last person on their mind. So it's really all depends on the situation, on if it's, if I charge your card or not. But if it's just kind of like, oh, I forgot my appointment, it's kind of like, but most of the time my clients are very understanding, like, I'm so sorry. Like, so yeah, just have a card on file, and just, business is business. It's nothing personal. And I've learned
Mhm.
that too. Like, you can't take it personal and they can't take it personal. So, and I feel like once you establish that, they'll respect you and you will respect them too.
No, absolutely. I mean, there is a plethora of things that's gone down here in Atlanta that they have a long list of certain deposits and things because of the no shows. So I do see that being one of the problems in the beauty industry when booking appointments. So I just wanted to, ask you, because they will have a long list of what to do, what not to do when you get here to the appointment, how much you need to spend prior to. Making the appointment. And again, like sometimes things don't really go as planned. So I think the respect aspect and like setting certain boundaries. I remember I went to go get a facial from my esthetician out here, and she established great business boundaries. And one of the things was, it's like I was running late to an appointment, although it was 10 minutes. That 10 minutes, because of the session is 60 minutes, it goes into another slot. So I had to reschedule, but she established that from the beginning. And I knew next time, if this is going to be a 40-minute drive, I have to leave in an hour and 15 minutes early, because I have to respect her boundaries, right? So I was just like, for future reference, I won't be late, and it
Yeah.
won't be on my end. So
Oh yeah. And listen, we appreciate the communication. Like, I
mhm.
appreciate the communication, even if it's like 2 minutes late.
Yeah,
Like, just give me a heads up that you're still showing up. So I think communication is key. Even if I'm running behind, I always, and even if I think I'm running behind, I'd rather let my clients know, just in
mhm.
case, like, if they're stressing out on their end, like, oh my God, I might be late. Like, it's okay.
Yeah,
Like, I'm running 5 to 10 minutes behind. So I think communication is key.
yeah, absolutely. So beauty has so many different facets. What made you choose brows, Brazilians, and makeup?
So I chose makeup because I've always loved makeup. And I honestly feel like I think it was kind of like I grew into my beauty later in life. So I felt like makeup was one thing that I can kind of like, oh, like, kind of, pretty myself up. As a young
Yeah,
girl, you have a lot of insecurities. So I think I learned makeup, one reason, just to kind of make myself feel better, and I got good at it. So that's why I chose makeup. And I love the confidence that it builds women up to, like, just,
mhm,
how you can, look tired, you can use concealer. I just really feel like just the confidence behind makeup can give women. So that's why I chose makeup. Also, first it was personal, and then whenever people saw that I could do my makeup, they're like, can you do my makeup? And just seeing, like, the lights within them just kind of radiate, I was like, oh my God, I love this. So that's why I chose makeup. And then actually brows, I didn't really choose it. The girl that I used to work for, her name is Toya, and I was actually her client, and I just would go get my brows done
mhm,
um every 4 weeks. And she was just, one day she was like, I love your personality, I love your energy, like, would you ever think about, like, wanting to learn brows? And I'm like, I've never thought about it, because I have my license, like, I had my cosmetology license, and she knew
okay,
that. And I was like, I never thought about that. I was like, she's like, if I taught you, would you want to learn? I said, I mean, heck, I mean, I think I was, what, how old was I at the time? I think I was like 24 at the time, 25. I was like, I'm young. I mean, if you want to teach me, let's do it. So the initiative, like, introductory to brows, I didn't really like it. I enjoyed it, but I didn't like it. But I think when COVID happened and I kind of had to, like, come back in and help her, well, she asked me if I could kind of like catch her up on her clients. I was like, yeah,
mhm,
sure, why not? That's when I truly found a passion for brows. Just, and also that was kind of like I had to put a little more umph into, like, some more effort.
okay.
Yeah, when I was younger, it was kinda like, "Yeah, like, this is fun," but whenever I got older, I think I was, like, 28, 29, I really see, like, just as what makeup did for people, brows and Brazilian did for women as well, so I think it's honestly, it's the reward of, like, when women come in, they think that their brows are a lost cause, or even Brazilians. Like women are so scared to get Brazilians. They're like, oh, I've had a horror story, or they're kind of just insecure of like just of their lady parts and
Yeah.
brows. And I always say, I'm like, listen, if you don't think and love her, like she's the best thing in the world, talking about her Brazilian area, like how do you expect a person to love her and show love to her?
Yes.
I was like, so you better strut her and know that she's the most beautiful thing on this planet. And then they're like, you're right. I'm like, yeah, because I'm like, listen, it's all the same, different colors, different sizes, but you have to completely own
Embrace.
her. Yeah. So it's really the rewarding factor is just making women feel comfortable, confident, and just building the relationship with them.
Listen, I can tell you a story or two about me going to go get my first wax. Okay, it was the most pleasant experience, but the conversation and the way they made me feel comfortable to open up, and it was painful. I don't. I still don't know how I endure it sometimes. But I have to go in with an open mind. I prep myself all day mentally. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Mhm.
So it's just one of those moments. But yes, I love feeling comfortable and when I'm going to get that service done because it's again, it's an intimate part and it makes you vulnerable. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it's just like, okay, I have this beautiful thing that can create life and, and give life, but I need to embrace it more.
Yes, for sure. And I tell my clients, I'm like, and they think like the more they come, it's there's never going to be discomfort. I'm just honest too. I think honesty is key too.
Mhm.
I had one client one time, they were like, so when is this going to stop hurting? And I'm like, I looked at her crazy. I was like, no, you got it all wrong. I'm like, it becomes tolerable,
Yes.
and it's just a I'm pulling hair from the root. So there's never going to be discomfort, but because you stay consistent, your hair gets thinner and it
Yeah.
just gets easier.
Yeah.
And I just am honest. I don't know where they thought that it will never hurt again, but and I just let them know. I'm like, listen, I know what you go through because I do my own Brazilians. I do. I do. But I just love that I have full control that I can give myself a Brazilian. I used to get Brazilians, but I
Yeah.
was, and one day I was like, you know what, let me try it out. And I mean, I can do my own Brazilian in like 20 minutes.
Girl,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm giving you a gold star, okay? Because I don't know if I could do it. I tried to wax my underarms and I couldn't. It was so hard for me to pull the plug. I was just like, I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna get
Yeah.
this off because it was just so painful. So you are my new shiro, okay? Because that is one personally I don't know if I'll be able to do. 20
Well,
minutes though, 20 minutes, that is world record.
I probably wouldn't be able to do my own Brazilian if it was like if I was new to the game of getting
Got
Brazilian.
you. Okay.
I had been getting a Brazilian for a year. And I was used to the discomfort,
Right.
and all I have to do, honestly, I just prep my mind, okay, this is what we got to do. And honestly, and I'm being so for real, it really doesn't hurt. Is it like a little like sting? Yes, but to me, I I tell people, I'm like, have you ever stomped your toe and the pain lingers? They're like, yeah. Have you ever got a paper cut and that paper cut a day later you put something in it and it lingers? I'm like, legit, like Brazilians may feel like your soul's getting taken from you, but in 10 minutes, what you were feeling 10 minutes ago, you're not feeling it into this present 10 minutes. And like, I never thought about that. I'm like, yeah, honey, that paper cut hurts worse than a Brazilian.
No, absolutely. I agree to you. I always have a cycle with myself. Like I'll go for a certain period and then I'll mess up and I won't go.
You
And then
feel
I'll come back
yourself.
and then they'll be like, you stop, you shave, you now you have to start over. I'm like,
You're over. Yep.
oh my gosh. So I would say, okay, what is the biggest lesson you have learned going through this process of entrepreneurship?
The biggest lesson probably, hmm, biggest lesson would probably be, um, gosh, hmm, probably just be patient with myself, be patient with clients. And I'm not that I'm not impatient, but just know, like, when I say patient with myself, what like meaning like I have so many like goals and aspirations
Yeah.
that I want for my business. Like, just be patient. Like,
Mhm.
I never thought I would have had my own business two 3 years ago, and this June will be 2 years in business. Never would have thought, because I mean, I used to say, like, owning a business, that is too hard. Like, I'd
Yeah.
rather clock in, clock out, go home, do my own thing. But now, oh my God, I love it. I've learned so much. And meaning be patient with clients, just like, I shouldn't say, you know what, not patient with clients, 'cause I'm pretty patient. I'm a patient person. I think my
Mhm.
clients would testify to that. Probably just being patient, like what all the things that I want to do for my business.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I agree with you there. I mean, we can get overwhelmed with so many things and avenues that we want to pursue and where we want the destination and the vision to grow. So I definitely can understand the patient part
Yeah.
portion, and just overall because you have to, this is my line, like falling in love with the process because like you said, it will be 2 years in June and it's just like you've never thought you would have accomplished all of you accomplished and yet there's more. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So you can never, be too patient with yourself. And just enjoying the journey because it's just like it's a beautiful thing. At some point, I was just like, I don't know, it's a lot of work. You got to put on hats, you got to do this, and then as the world evolved, when technology and AI, like there's so many things that you kind of have to constantly learn to just be above or ahead of the game and
Mhm.
not going against the grain, but going with it as it grows, right?
Yes.
Um, in your business current standings, what is something that you would like to change or improve?
My business, current standing, like to improve. Probably the space. I'm in a studio right now, and at first I was like, "Oh, this is great just to start."
Mhm.
But probably, I would like to maybe become like a small storefront, so I could
Oh,
have, because right now I'm offering brows and Brazilian in one room, which is great. This was my starting point, but definitely improve, just kind of expanding just a little more,
yeah,
because I get some people are some women that are interested in learning from me, but it's such a small space.
great.
And I still do it, but I kind of psych myself out. Like, how we get in our head, like, oh, I only have a small space. Like,
Yeah.
can I even do this? But
Just
like, I,
right.
I feel like God, opens doors for you. And this is just the next step to eventually have my own small storefront. So probably just kind of expand and maybe one day have, other women working with me.
Awesome. I like that. I think it's so cool when I walk past, like if there was a nice day and walking past and you get to see people, going through that experience, whether it's hair or makeup, and you get to look in the window and it's just like, I don't know, it does something to my momentum,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. I know what you mean. Like, you're just seeing all these women
Mhm.
working, doing what they love, but also
Yeah.
people getting the service. It
Service.
just seems
Yes.
like a whole bunch of a whole bunch of stories going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
Um,
Like it's always a good. And then I'm like, oh, I want to go in and see it. And like I
yeah.
end up going in, get a business card, coming back, being friends. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, next thing you know, we're out at brunch having mimosas or something.
Oh, I love it.
So, along your journey, where was the point where you felt like you wanted to change paths? If there was a point where it's like a hardship.
Oh, like current, like me being a business?
Mhm.
Um, hmm. Jokingly, whenever it's slow weeks, I'm like, do I need to be a barista? Do I need to like do I need a part-time job somewhere? Like, do I need
Right,
like,
right. As they say, do I need an OnlyFans and sell my foot toe?
yes, I was gonna say, like,
Fetish?
do I need an OnlyFans account? Because I got pretty
Right.
I
I can do feet and hands. That's it. That's all I'm good for. Feet and hands.
so jokingly, I mean, I think so I'm like, you know what? It wouldn't be bad some weeks of like, okay, if I had a part-time job, but it's crazy whenever I start like doubting like just business, God literally just blesses me with like 3 times more. Um,
Amen to
and I
that.
feel like it's just and honestly, I feel like those weeks that were busy weeks and they end up being more slower weeks,
Mhm.
it's honestly like a sign from God where like I needed just to take a little more slower and my body needed that. So I just kind of like take it as a sign like I just needed this moment of slowness just to prepare me for the next coming weeks. And it always works out like that. It's crazy how my schedule works out.
That is amazing. I like my aunt tells me all the time, she's like, enjoy the stillness because when it comes, and God does never miss. He never misses at all.
Yeah.
So, hey, I get what you mean.
I agree.
What are some risks that you would like to take in the incoming months or even years? I know you spoke about having a bigger space. Is there anything else that you would, take a bet or take a risk on?
Take a bet, take a risk on. I would, yeah, bigger space. I would love to invest in merch, like cute. I mean, I've gotten some stuff made, but only for
Yeah,
myself. But
yeah.
in order to get like a big quantity, you have to like put a lot of money down. So definitely, probably offer merchandise to clients, just because I'm all about like brow sayings. Like there's one that I came up with, like brows before bros.
Oh, that's cute.
Brows before bros, RBF, resting brow face.
Mm,
And yeah, I just would love to just come out with some like cute hats, cute shirts.
okay.
Hmm.
I like that. I like that. I've never gotten my brows done ever in my life, so
No?
mm-mm.
Do you brush them to the side because it looks like they could be fluffy, but it looks like
Yes,
you
so
still
I
brush
do
them
occasionally when
up.
I do like a concealer look or like I'll do concealer with a little clear brow gel. I
Uh-huh.
would do that, and that's basically it. I've never gotten them done.
Oh.
I see all the new techniques that's coming out now, and I'm so tempted, so tempted.
Yes, it looks like you could have fluffy brows, but I think, oh, is that mine? Hold on, is that me? I think that's me. Hold on, let me silence my phone. I think that's me the whole time.
I know. I think I got a notification too, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm like, how? I'm so annoying right now. You would think, okay, I'm gonna put on do not disturb. Okay,
Okay.
good. Don't disturb me. Do they not know I'm getting interviewed?
Like hello.
Hello, I'm famous right now. Okay, I'm getting interviewed. Okay, I'm in
Listen,
the studio. That's not my
we are
time.
in the studio. It says we are in the studio live.
Yes.
So where do you feel like you're walking in your purpose? And is it aligned with everything that you are and embody as a person?
I definitely feel like I'm walking in my purpose.
Mhm.
Just just because even before I was an entrepreneur, had my own business, every time I felt like I wanted to give up, like giving up meaning like having something more stable, more consistent.
Mhm.
It just didn't feel right, and I just didn't feel fulfilled. So I truly believe that I'm walking in my purpose, because I just feel like God wouldn't give me a vision and God wouldn't bless me if this is not what I was meant to be. And I feel like I have such, and I tell my clients, all my clients this, I'm like, I have like the best clients, and I tell them, without you, there would be no me. And they could spend their money anywhere, but you spend your money with me, literally. Like
Yes.
that's my saying. I have it. Like without you, there would be no me. So,
Yes.
um, yes, and I feel like it aligns with me just because I'm all about. I'm a girl's girl, and I say that confidently, not cocky, because I'm all about uplifting other women
Mhm.
because I know how it felt being that person, being that woman that didn't have that confidence in having other women kind of like, oh, you're not confident, oh, you don't have this, oh, you don't
Yeah.
do that, you don't look like this. I was that girl woman long time ago, and having someone in your corner,
Mhm.
also me doing your service, I feel like I'm living in my purpose to be able to uplift women, not just service wise. I feel like we have such deep talks, and
I
also we cut up. Um, I'm telling you, I could get emotional right now because I feel like it's so beautiful because I've been having some of my clients since I started, and looking back at my old work, I'm like, y'all really did
Y'all
love.
stood by me. Y'all stood.
Yeah, because I'm like, y'all thought I was bomb then. No, ma'am. I'm like, I'm bomb now. So like just seeing my clients' growth, like just seeing them if they were single, now they're married with kids, just like literally growing and like being in their lives. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful to kind of be a part of their story.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I do feel like a sense of relief if I go get my hair done, if I go get my get my facial with my esthetician. Like I've built these relationships with these women, and it's kind of like one of the girls, the lady that does my hair now, I was in New York. I found her on Instagram in New York before. I said, hey, I need a stylist for when I move down there. So I found her on Instagram, and I hit her up, and she's been doing my hair for 7 years.
Oh wow.
Never gone to anyone else. And I was with her from when she was pregnant. She was doing hair out of her house. She moved 3 different salons. Like she's on her like 4th salon suite. I'm like, I've been with her through the fire, with the baby. Like I went through with everything. Okay.
Yes.
So just having different conversations and growing with someone, when my hair was here and now it's like almost to my butt now, and it's just kind of like having that connection, that community. And sometimes we don't talk every week, but when I see you, I'm like, hey,
Yep.
update, you know what I'm saying? Like this is what's going on. And it's kind of like a beautiful union, almost like what you
Yes.
have in bond. So I definitely can
Mhm.
appreciate that, just the overall, the goals. Oh, what do you have going on? What are you looking forward to? Even my esthetician, I met her right before I started this podcast, and she was my very first person I interviewed. And she said something that made me cry on set that day. I was getting everything because I was renting out Airbnbs at first, and she said to me, she's like, I remember when this is just a thought, and you were laying on my table, and we would have these conversations about what your podcast would be about. And she was like, to see everything set up, and it's not one of those things where it's just like thrown together. It's very,
Yes.
nice. It was like I almost cried because it was just like this was a thought at a time.
Yes.
So it was just it's beautiful having that type of communication.
I love it. I love that.
So what is your idea of service when it comes to being an entrepreneur in your field?
Like service, like servicing clients.
I would say, okay, so service in a sense of like serving your clients. Now, what that may look like. So what is your idea of service in your field? Not just the browse,
Mhm.
but is it the experience, giving your clients a full experience? Is it the combination between both? And also building a relationship, because I believe as every entrepreneur, you get to serve in your purpose through your field, and what that looks like to you defines your business in character and as your brand all across the board. So
Yeah.
what is your idea of a service in your field and what you're doing now?
I feel like servicing my clients, of course, doing their service, but also just being that listening ear, whether they need to really cry in my chair. I've had clients cry in my chair and
Mhm.
I just am listening. Or if I really feel like the Holy Spirit is wanting me to speak upon, the situation or even pray for them. Um, Honestly, just really instead of them seeing me as their brow or makeup artist, they see me as their friend. So just being there for them and really listening to them and just checking up on them too.
Mhm.
So I feel like really just they call me their therapist. They're like,
Oh.
They they say, I come get my brows done, I have a therapy session,
Mhm.
and they're like, "And you're a whole comedian." They're like, "Where do you get that at?" I'm like, "I get 3 in 1 package, baby." Like,
Yes, I'm
you get
all
your therapist
3.
and you get your service. Well,
Yes.
and I feel like every interaction with different is different with each client, and
Yeah,
I'm pretty good at reading the room. I sometimes greet my clients with a big hug, or I greet my clients like, "Hey," but I've learned like, you know, everybody's love language is different.
absolutely.
So, because I'm very, I mean, I'm very extroverted, I'm very like, I'll hug you, but I've learned like it's okay. Like, don't take it personal if they don't give you a
Yeah,
hug.
yeah, yeah, for
Right,
sure.
like, that's just who they are, and I feel like a lot of clients gravitate towards me because I can be crazy and loud with some clients, but some clients, like, they just come to me because 'cause we're just, like, talking like this, just, like, more normal, more calm,
Yeah,
or really, some clients, they just like to come in and just relax and go to
that's so
sleep,
sweet.
so I feel
Okay.
like just giving them this moment because it's their moment, whether it's to sleep, whether it's to catch up, it's just kind of their, like, their I call it like their sanctuary getaway. Like it's their sanctuary for
Mm.
a moment. Like all the hustle and bustle, like you come in here and and it could be anything you want. It could be your time and I just let them have it.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful how you described it as their own time, their sanctuary, and that's how you show up for them and serve for them. And I think that is so beautiful because on the other side of the chair, it's our self-care day. It's what we want. It's what we schedule out our out in our week or day to do. If we get this one thing to treat ourselves to, and that is to be in your chair. So I think that is very beautiful. Do you have any questions for me to wrap up?
So what made you want to start the podcast?
I believe so. This was when I was working on my first business, so my marketing consulting business, and I was having a lot of trouble balancing, processing a lot of things as far as like emotions, finances, and time. And I felt like I was still working my 9 to 5 at the time, so working the 9 to 5 and then trying to, network with different clients, and I was having a really hard time. And I was trying to figure out, I'm like, okay, well, I know I can't be the only person that has a story to when I reach to my final destination. And I just figured, why don't I design a platform for entrepreneurs to come on and share their stories and I can give them their flowers because what they have built was not an easy thing. And they took the risk to, they believed in themselves and, just to kind of see if they're walking in their true purposes, if this is what they truly want to do. I feel like entrepreneurs sometimes they get into business to make money, but forget about what comes after that, what
Mhm.
pursuing it. And are you aligned with what you say you're doing, or is it just some overnight, stream of income that you're trying to come through? Because I feel like if you anything that you can do without payment, you can like that is your true purpose and it will clients will come, God will bless you and put things in order, and as long as you have the vision and the work ethic, I think everything will flow as it should. So I designed this platform for you guys, and just to hear the stories. I think storytelling, marketing, is the biggest marketing there is, and along with word of mouth. And I just feel like why not give your clients and your viewers some like a different side of what they don't see and kind of get to know why,
Mhm.
like, why do they come to me, why are you valuing me, why have you put me in this position to, I get to make the appointments, right? So that's just my brief synopsis of why I started. And I love hearing different stories. And, I'm open to, transition into different segments as we go along the way. And this is my first time interviewing people and out of Georgia, you know what I'm saying, out of different states. So this has been a very beautiful journey.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love this interview. It was so much fun.
Yes, thank you. You were so much of a ball of energy and just awesome. Your personality is amazing.
Thank you.
You were tagged by this by Courtney. We took a course together and she tagged you and it was like she's amazing and you were amazing, just a ball of
Thank
energy.
you.
And I hope that your business flourishes and you get everything that you pour into it out and God blesses you abundantly.
Thank you. I appreciate
No
that. And
problem.
same to you too.
Thank you so much. So you heard it here, guys. This is London Gray with the Grade 3 podcast. We're here with Azaria. Azaria, go ahead and let them know your social media platforms that you would like for them to go view and check out.
So you can follow me on Instagram. It's azarialeann.beauty. And there is my link. You can go to my website and see all the services that I offer.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Azaria. We had a beautiful time. It was such a pleasure speaking with you tonight.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
All
All right.
right. Bye.